Hello, I'm Dal Bartling, and welcome to another Dal's Weekly Digest. You know, I know you know, but the older I am, the more that I think. And not just about where did I leave my glasses, or why did I walk into this room? Recently, someone asked me, Dal, who's been a real influencer in your life? Not counting family. And then they came back and they said, give me 5. Well, I can do that. And here's the thing. 3 of them actually I saw. I had the privilege of seeing them in person. The other 2, I've gotten to know them through books, tapes, YouTube. Also, 3 of those 5 were preachers. So today, I'm going to share my 5 life influencers. I received a book early in my career. It's kind of like a Christmas present, kind of set it aside, didn't look at it for a long time. Then I started to read it. I started to learn from it as I was gleaning through and getting those words of wisdom. The name of the book was See You at the Top. The author, quite a name, Zig Ziglar. Now, if Zig didn't make you smile, he'd at least make you laugh. Before, he kind of eased in there and taught you something. Zig had a gift for making success sound possible for anyone. The first time I saw him was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I knew he was coming, so I registered and got a ticket. Now, when you registered, you didn't have a certain seat reserved for you. It was first come, first serve as far as the seating goes. So I went there about 2.5 hours ahead of time. And I thought so much of Zig that I bought tickets for all of my staff and invited them to come, anyone that wanted to come there. You know, Zig had a famous line. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough people get what they want. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough people get what they want. Zig had that ability to make the stadium feel like you're in his living room. Now, typically when the speaker is speaking, they're up on a riser above the audience, and the audience is kind of sitting down below. Zig had the ability to use that whole floor up and down. And not only that, he had the ability that he would get down on one knee and he would look that front row right in the eye. Quite a guy. Number 2 brings us to Tony Campolo. Now, Tony is a preacher, a storyteller, and a firecracker all rolled into one. When I saw and heard him speak, I left both convicted and encouraged. His passion for helping the marginalized and living out our faith was not just talking about it, it left a mark on me. Faith is lived by serving. Be not just hearers of the word, but doers of the word. James. Do you want to live for titles or testimonies? Go to YouTube and look for that sermon. Titles or Testimonies by Tony Campolo. It's very encouraging. Number 3 brings us to Oswald Hoffman. Now, some of you might remember his voice for so many years. It was the voice of the Lutheran Hour. Now, I had the privilege, I saw Oswald and heard him in person in Fargo, North Dakota. And I'll never forget how his voice gave you calm confidence in God's promises. And his voice just quieted the restless room. He reminded me that truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs to be spoken with conviction. Truth spoken with grace has a lasting power. Number 4, Dale Carnegie. Now, I never met Mr. Carnegie, but his book, How to Win Friends and Influence Others, has probably been influencing people longer than I've been alive, as well as his classes, which I highly, highly recommend that you not only read the book, but take his class. His big lesson: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that principle works both in business, ministry, and life. Connect before you convince. John Maxwell. Now, John, he was a preacher at one time, and his leadership books and talks have been like having a personal coach in my living room, minus the bill. He taught me that leadership is not about titles. It's about influence. And influence is earned every day through consistency and character. Oh, by the way, he attributes one of his mentors, personal mentors, Zig Ziglar. Here's what I've learned from these 5. No matter where you are in life, just starting out, in the middle, or looking back, there's always someone that you can learn from. But you have to be intentional about it. Each of these influencers in their own way reinforce the same truth. Your influence on others will be remembered far, far longer than your achievements. Zig taught me to lift others up. Tony taught me to care for the least of these. Oswald taught me to speak truth with grace. Dale taught me to connect before I convince. And John taught me to lead by example. And here's the challenge for this week. Think of your 5 influencers, not family members. Write their names down. Then ask yourself this important question. What am I doing today that would make them proud to have influenced me? So the older I am, the more that I think. And influence is the true currency of life. Spend it well. And remember, I'm rooting for you. Yes, I am, because we're in this together. And blessed are they who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. You take